We're doing it.
Hi, Shane. How are you?
All right, Adam. How you doing?
I've spent a lot of time at the house lately.
Yeah, you too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think there's something in the air.
There might be. I think there might be. It's something.
I don't know if we're live yet, but one of us has to be the adult, and I elect you. So you welcome everybody to this.
I will do it. We are definitely live. And I think people are rolling in, so we might as well get this thing going. I think people are joining. So welcome everybody to a live Q&A with Adam Ferrara. Thank you all for coming and joining us for this show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, you know Adam from Nurse Jackie, Top Gear, Speedy Beardy, and the Mole. Tune in to hear that. It's great. CBS All Access, Why Women Kill. And, of course, his podcast, 30 Minutes You Never Get Back, this week featuring Edie Falco. What's up, Adam? How you doing? I'm
good, my friend. Thank you so much for hitting Speedy Beardy and the Mole. If I could just clarify what that is. That just started for the all these conditions are. If you guys are fans of Top Gear, which is a show I was on I don't know, 6-7 years with Tanner Faust and Rutledge Wood, and we had about 70-something episodes, and we figured to entertain people, if you want to go on YouTube under Speedy Beardy and the Mole, we watch episodes of Top Gear. The three of us were at Tanner's house before all this hit, and we do watch-alongs and commentaries. You can watch along with us.
Nice.
So so that's something for the Top Gear fans. Thank you for plugging my podcast, 30 Minutes You Get Back. You can get that wherever you get your podcast. This week's guest is Edie Falco. Who else have I had on, Shane? You don't know. No. We just met. Jay Leno was on, Kevin James, Adam Carolla, Alicia Coppola. Oh, the drummer from the Black Crowes. Steve Gorman was on. You like the Black Crowes?
I don't know. I've listened to them, but it's one of those things where I hear them on the radio and I'm like, I enjoy this, but I've not sought out their music.
Oh, okay. You should. It's really good. Yeah. His new book, Hard to Handle, is a pretty good book as well.
Nice. That's a fitting title. That's good.
Yeah. And I had a bunch of other, I had on, Shane, I had on Katie Coleman, the astronaut.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she lived in space for 6 months. She was a retired Air Force colonel, and she plays the flute. And she played the flute with Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull from space. She did a duet with him. I've done nothing with my life. I'm doing webinars to help people. That's what we're doing right now. By the way, thank you guys so much for coming. All the money raised for this goes to help the staff at the Helium comedy clubs. They work so hard so we can do our job. So it's the least we can do is try and put food on everybody's table. So I hope everyone's surviving as well. How you doing with this, Shane?
I'm doing all right. I worked from home beforehand, so it's like nothing's changed.
Which was tough because I think before you said you were a rodeo clown.
I was, dude. I have so many barrels just sitting in my basement. They're heavy, and I got to keep moving them to make it look like I'm doing something.
Yeah,
it's rough. Well, this is good. This is going to be a fun night. We got a lot of great questions for you. We also have a Q&A button, guys. Everyone that's watching, every participant in your bottom bar there, you have a Q&A button. So if you guys want to ask Adam a question, ask anything you want, go ahead and drop it in that Q&A, and we'll try to get to it, and we'll see what we can do.
Cool.
Yeah. So real quick question about Top Gear before we get started with these questions. You a big car buff?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah?
Well, here's the thing, Shane. I came to cars as a kid because I can't fix them. I don't have that if-then go-to statement. But my dad was a car guy who could fix them. So that's how he tried to teach me. And I love my dad and want to spend time with him. So he tried to teach me the mechanics of it. Like, I understand it, but I don't have that if-then go-to statement in my head. I was trying, Shane. I was trying like hell. I remember once when I was a kid, I was trying to do something with the valve cover. It was a leak or something. So I'm working furiously, and wrenches are falling, oil spurting, blood is shooting out. It's not going well. My father's in the doorway of the garage just watching me. He finishes his Lucky, takes a long drag off his cigarette, he puts it out, and I'm sweating. And he comes over, he puts his hand on my shoulder and said, "Son, look, you're gonna have to get a job. You're gonna have to work at something the rest of your life.
Oh, no.
This ain't it."
Oh.
So I went, okay.
Is that a sad day for you? Was that?
It was a sad, and it was relief. The sad part was I my father can do this and I can't, so I can't be like my dad. The relief was, oh, good, I can. I'm bad at this.
Right. Yeah.
It's like I got permission. Like, look, stop before you break.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I can do a little thing. Like I can change the oil. I can gap a spark plug with a matchbook or a guitar pick. I could smack the solenoid to get the starter to crank over. But after that, I'm done. And this is when cars had carburetors. So now I'm shot.
Yeah.
Now you open the hood, there's a sign that says call the guy.
Yeah, computer guy. That's who you got. It's a geek squad for your car. That's
you don't even need a wrench. You need a computer to flash drive everything.
Yeah, my car is electric, and I don't know what to do with that. I think I'd electrocute if I touch it. So
what do you got?
I got an i3, one of those little i3s.
Oh yeah. Do you have that? Do you have the dashboard that looks like a butcher block?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a eucalyptus wood.
Is that what it is?
It's something. Yeah, it's great.
For those of you who don't know, an i3 is the BMW. We had one of those on Top Gear. It's the little one. It's electric. It's really, really cool. Yeah. But it's got like a charcuterie board.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like fake meats on there. So
it's like you're driving a sauna.
Totally. It feels nice, I gotta say. Anytime you're in town, we'll go for a ride in my sauna. We'll sweat it out.
Here's the thing about electric cars. They're instant torque because there's no turbo lag. There's just instant torque. You're right out of the hole. Yeah. And they're really quiet, so you could kill a blind guy. Be careful.
Yeah. They don't hear you at all. It adds for some fun. It's like the movie Death Race 2000 back in the
70s. Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, what a movie.
Yeah, I think he had a 73 Corvette, a green one with a spine up the middle of it.
Yeah, that's great. My favorite part of that movie is when they're racing down the highway and they're going past the old folks' home and they wheel all the old people out for the cars that hit them for like bonus points.
Yeah.
One car says, "I'm not going for them," and he just takes out all the nurses and doctors, and it's like they got so many more points. No one even thought to do it. It's great. Enough of that. Enough of running over doctors. We need them right now, so let's not talk about that. So let's get to some of the questions, Sal.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. So anything you need before we get started? Can I get you a water, a lemon?
I don't know, an antidote?
Antidotes? Yeah, I don't have those, unfortunately. Okay. But maybe this will cure everything. So here we go. First question that we have for you. Working on things like Rescue Me and Paul Blart with fellow comics, do you guys run new jokes by each other during breaks, or is it all during the show or the movie? Like, do you riff?
We riff. We don't run specific jokes. Like if something happens, we'll riff. But you don't go help me with this. The only time we did do that was during Rescue Me. For the last 3 years of Rescue Me, we did the Rescue Me comedy tour. And we did it in Philly. We were at the Tower Theater in Philly. Nice. We're at the Chicago Theater. So that's when we all was Dennis Leary, Lenny Clark, myself, and the band, and Kenny Rogerson, and I think and Nick DiPaolo once in a while stopped in and doing. Whitney Cummings did a couple too. But we were all on the bus, the tour bus, and we were living as comics. So that lent itself to helping each other with different bits and stuff. We were living as comics, and that environment was conducive to doing that. On Rescue Me, a lot of stuff, Shane, a lot of times the script was just a suggestion.
Oh, right.
So we would riff and we would do stuff within the script and then boil it down and then come up with something better.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I find that being on set, it's always fun just to see about what you can try and what you work out with each other. So it's always good, especially when you have a bunch of like-minded comic friends that are kind of working with.
Yeah, and Dennis created that environment for us. He's a great boss. He was a great. I've been on a couple of shows with him and we had a shorthand of how we worked with each other. So that was fun to find that stuff together and to make each other laugh and to do something in our lives that turned into an episode. We were before Rescue Me, we were on a cop show called The Job, and Dennis was staying at this condo in New York, and it was way up in the building, and there was a brass telescope. So Lenny Clark and I were looking out at the telescope, and we were just laughing and riffing and playing with telescope. And 2 days later, we had the bones of a script called Telescope, and one of the episodes of The Job was called Telescope.
Oh, cool! That's fun. Like a little Easter eggs for you guys. It seems like here's where that came from.
Yeah,
that's pretty neat. Cool.
Yeah, it was fun because those kind of things, like when they do it, is like when you're working on TV shows and you're acting stuff, and when you're with other people, you're kind of open creatively. So anything that comes in becomes fodder for a joke or fodder for, whatever it is you're doing. And it's nice to be in that space with another person. Like, hopefully me and you will find some magic here, Shane.
Yeah, no, I think we will. I'm feeling something inside already. So I think we'll definitely find some magic.
Let's take a poll. What do people think Shane is feeling inside?
Yeah, well, let's do this poll. Who does this poll?
I don't know. We have helpers in the background. Basically, you guys, we have helium helpers, we call them. It's like the shoemaker that goes to sleep and the birds sit on the window and they wake up and all the shoes are made.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have 2 helium helpers. So if you guys could put out the poll, what is Shane feeling inside?
Yeah, what are we feeling? Yeah, let's
Is
see
that
that poll.
I don't know if that's got to be a yes or no question.
Oh yeah, we
or
need
just,
choices. So I guess we
Shane
have
is
to
feeling
have,
tingles.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Okay,
Shane
so
is feeling
we have a few
full.
options.
That's the other thing. I'm trying not to eat all the food because when I get bored, I eat.
Oh yeah, me too. I got these almonds, these chocolate covered almonds. I've just been killing those.
Oh.
I'm risking Amazon workers' lives just to deliver these to me, and I don't feel good about it.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm trying not to eat carbs. I'm trying, when I get bored, I eat. So it's like I got to stop that.
Yeah. What
And
are you gonna do?
what's
Go
important
outside
for
and
me
work out?
while this is all going on is I have to. I'm glad this happened because I took a shower. Mr. Rogers always said, "Look for the helium helpers."
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, the poll's up. The poll's up. Here you go. What do you think people? What is Shane feeling inside? Tingles or hunger?
Okay.
We got to vote for that. Oh, I can't vote. I'm a host.
Oh,
That makes sense.
the host can vote. Can I put in another choice?
Yeah.
Regret.
Yeah, regret.
Emptiness.
Oh, let's see what happened.
What
Oh,
happened?
the tingles. The tingles won. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Tingles won.
Yeah, it's an early sign of sickness.
Yes, is that an early warning sign?
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I woke up the other day for some reason. I woke up in the morning, I came downstairs, I sneezed, I went, "That's it, I got it." I'm screaming up to my wife how much I love her. I'm trying to stay away from my dog. I don't want to take anybody down with me.
Yeah.
I'm too twitchy.
Yeah, me too. We were at the garden center before earlier today, and someone sneezed, and I turned around and physically just like freaked out. And my wife said, "We got to not do that. Let's hold it together." I was like, "Okay, good call. Yeah,
let's try. Yeah, let's try and keep it together."
Yeah.
Jamie thinks you're feeling diarrhea.
No, I'm not. I'm feeling pretty good. It's all all tight in there.
Because there's been the toilet paper thing has been frightening.
Oh, I know. I've been good with that. I've been rationing.
Really? You know what I've been doing? I made a
doing?
bidet out of a lawn sprinkler.
Oh, that's good.
So I got a little tent. I go in the back and I go.
Nice. And then you get the smell of hose water, which I love. That's ridiculous.
Hey, hose got a poo too.
That's true, don't they?
Which I think was a Rick Ross song.
I think it probably was, and if not, Run the Jewels covered it. So, all right, let's ask another question here. We got 32 pages of questions, so we might be here all night. So,
all right, where are we going?
Nowhere. I'm just happy to be talking to somebody, honestly, and someone like you. That's exciting for me. So, here we go. Being on CBS All Access, how do you look at things like all the streaming services? Would you consider there being too much entertainment, not enough, just right? Like, how would you say the environment is for entertainment?
Well, we do have so many. Here's the big problem, not the problem, but here's one of the consequences of being on a streaming show, especially CBS All Access. And the show is called Why Women Kill, and it was written by Mark Cherry, the guy who did Desperate Housewives. And it's a great show. Lucy Liu is in it, Jennifer Goodwin, Alicia Coppola plays my wife. And it's a great show to do, but it's CBS All Access, which means that's an hour and a half on the phone with my mother.
Oh, no.
What channel? What channel? Ma, it's not on the channel. Well, then how the hell am I supposed to? Shane, I had to buy her this Fire Stick, and my wife had to talk her through whatever had to talk her through to watch the Outlander because she likes Outlander. So it's easier for me to just ask the cast to fly to New York, go to my mother's house, and we'll just act it out in her living room.
Yeah, that's good.
And explain how to get on CBS All Access.
Why is it so hard? They just don't.
You should have seen what I had to do to set this stuff up. My marriage almost broke up over this.
Yeah, how many marriages are going by the wayside with this thing?
I was reading that in the paper. That's another thing. I stopped reading the paper. I can't.
Oh yeah, no, it's too much.
I was actually out. I was out. Okay, this is funny. I was out the other day, and you wait online at the supermarket like it's the motor vehicle.
Right.
You know, this is great. Now the supermarket is like the club. You know, we got to wait for two people to leave, and I'm behind the velvet rope.
Yeah.
So I walk in there, and it's kind of, it's kind of like Cuba. There's shells, but there's not a lot on them. So, and I hear some guy in the cereal aisle just snap. He just snapped. He went, "They don't have it, Laura. What do you want me to do? The shelves are empty. They don't have natural bran flakes. You're just going to have to push it out on your own, honey. I'm sorry. Look, here, I'm on the FaceTime. You see everything I can see, Laura. It ain't here. It ain't here."
Oh. At least he brought his wife to the store on FaceTime as opposed to, infecting his wife or getting her close to people. That's nice of him. But they always yell on those phones.
Screaming.
Why?
It's frustration. That's the other thing. This is the frustration level of being in close proximity. That's why the marriage is starting to snap.
That's right.
And I'm on the road a lot. So it's like this, I'm like invading my own house because, you know, I'm either on set or I'm shooting somewhere. Like I did a movie called Little Italy. And I was in Toronto for 6 weeks. I'd come home for 3 weeks, and it's great. When I'm home, then when I leave, there's a whole world here that my wife and my dog, they all have their own lives before I get here. So I come home, and it's not like we're finding out about each other. I think she's finding out about me.
Right? Yeah. And is it good? Probably not.
Actually, I'll tell you the good thing about it is I blame myself for anything, for everything. It's like I'm one of those guys. This is my fault. I should have seen this coming. I can't even blame myself for this. So I think that's growth.
Yeah, that's good.
Although,
we're all growing.
although I will tell you, Shane, my ego did try. I was laying in bed, you know, at night when you lay in bed and you go through the day in your head and usually say stuff like, "Fuck," that kind of. So I was sitting there going, I was at the Chicago Improv before this hit, and I came home on the Saturday night, and I remember thinking to myself, look, I wanted to get off the road. I wanted to stop being on locations. I just want to be home with my wife. I meant series regular, Shane. I did not mean global pandemic.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you never know how it's going to come when you ask for it. That's the thing. You got to be just like I wasn't ready for some of these questions submitted by the audience, but we got some good ones.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. All right, here we go. We're just going to go down the list in order. Jack Jatonin, that's a good last name. Going back to Top Speed, what is the fastest car you drove?
Fastest car I drove was probably, I drove a Dragster. I drove a professional funny car at the Gator Nationals. I trained in one, but I never made. Yeah, full gear. I had to get a license.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you got to get a drag license. I had to qualify to get a drag license to do at the Gator to do the actual show if I won. I didn't win, so I didn't have to do it. But that was and I don't know what the top speed of that was. The fastest I've ever gone, Shane, I did 188 in a Ferrari F12 Berlinetta.
Damn.
Beautiful car. Top speed on that is 212 miles an hour. I got it up to $188, and at 140 miles an hour or there around, the car starts getting light, so you can feel it getting up. So any movement after that, you're like, death.
Yeah.
So I set my butt sensed a little bit of a speed wobble, and I looked down, and it was 188. I went, this is quick enough.
That's enough. That's
because it wasn't a runway. Usually we do speed runs on a runway, so they're all smooth and groomed. This was a causeway in Utah, so it was locked down, but it was still a street. So
you could launch off the sides if you wanted.
Oh yeah,
like causeways isn't that what that is? Causeway. It's like
it's a causeway. It has water on both sides. It was a great shot.
Oh, nice
helicopter shot.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Flying.
Yeah.
So in answer to your question, I also drove. They took the GT40, a 1966 GT40.
Gorgeous.
The actual race car. They took it out of the museum, and I drove it. I only drove it 8 feet, but I drove it.
Yeah, that's still something to drive.
Here's the gag. It's right-hand drive, so I get in there. They take the museum guys there, and I sit in there. There's a 351 Cleveland in there. There's a 4-barrel right here. Started up, and flames start coming out of the carburetor. The guys come over and goes, yeah, it does that. I'm like, not in my head.
Yeah.
So I got to drive the thing. I've never driven it before. Like I said, it's right-hand drive, so I got to drive it past the camera. Started up, started again, lift the clutch. The clutch isn't set up, so it's like it doesn't catch to like my knee is all the way up in my chin. Right. So I get it, I drive it, and I get past the camera. The guys from the museum come by, they open up the door again, they come over to me, goes, you did good. Most people stole it. But so that I drove an actual race car. I don't know how fast that one goes, but the top speed on that was. So I'm going to answer, and a long-winded answer to your question is 188 in a car that did 212.
Wow, that's pretty good. You were almost at the top.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I got up to 100 in my Miata and blew the head gasket, so that was fun.
You have nothing to worry about that in your i3.
Yeah, exactly. No parts at all.
I drove an electric dragster.
Oh, that's cool. I bet that was fast.
Man, okay, here's the thing. We'll get to, look, my ADD is raging. Thank you guys for sitting with me. I drove an electric drag. We did an episode where we had a guy that makes these electric dragsters he takes floats from those electric motors from those Mardi Gras floats in New Orleans. And he puts them in, Tanner had the long dragster. the traditional one, because that's a long wheelbase and that takes a lot to handle. I had a Chevy S10 they put in a pickup truck.
Oh, cool.
So there's no feel on the throttle because it's a brick, gone, right? So the guy said, listen, it's instant torque, as you know, driving an electric car. Once you stand on it, all that force is going to go through the frame and it twists the frame. So you got to counter steer because all the force goes through the frame and the actual frame is taking that shock energy and just goes. So you got to counter steer to the left and you'll take off. So boom, these giant tires just crunch down. This thing just launches. I thought I counter steered enough not to hit the wall. I was very close. And I ended up doing, I did it in low 11s. I did a quarter mile, like around the low 11s. So that's about $120.
That's awesome.
But there's no motor sound. All you hear when in an electric car at that speed is crunching metal and me screaming. That's all that people heard.
Yeah, that's the sound of the future engine, just right. Adam screaming. That's great. Man, I bet that would have been awesome.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, we're going to go down this list. We have a few more. We have a lot more. Here we go. This one, easy answer. I can answer this one, but there's a few words in here for you. Where can we donate additional money to Helium? Well, that's easy. Go to website heliumpresents.com. You can donate to the Helium staff. Feel free to do that. Also, they say, we love you, Adam. Jill and Emily from New Jersey.
I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Jill and Emily, my wife worked very hard on the backdrop. So please check out my podcast. If you're a Top Gear fan, check out Speedy Beardy and the Mole on YouTube. And you can hit me up on any of these things. This is great. I move my arm and it disappears. Yeah, look, it disappears. I wish I could do that with my big ass. All right.
So your podcast that you currently do, which I'm sure everyone here probably listens to, I'm sure that's why they're here. It pulls guests from all over the place. How do you get the guests? Do you know these people personally? You just hit them up randomly?
Well, yeah, when I first started doing it, I hit up my friends. Tanner Faust was my first episode, who was on the show with me. Rutledge Wood did an episode for me. And when you start a podcast, it took me a while to come up with one because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I've been on a bunch of them and guys do them really good. Like Marin's I've done and he does a really good job. And Rogan's a whole nother level. And it's all, I'm like, how could I be, what can I do in this space? So it took me a while to come up with it. So what I wanted to communicate with my podcast was a feeling. I started with a feeling. One of the best feelings I had when I was a kid was when I was upstairs and I would hear my mom and dad and their friends downstairs laughing. For some reason, that was the best night's sleep. So I just felt like, I don't know why. So I'm like, okay, I like that feeling. And podcasts really spoke to me on the road because, they keep us company when we're traveling. There's another voice out there. There's another community to be in. So I wanted to put that back in. So what I came up with was I opened the show with me, my wife, my friend, Phil Tagg, a comedian, and Mark Stern, my producer and pal. And we talk about a topic for about 10 minutes. Then we cut to a one-on-one interview that I do with a guest. And like any good group of friends, we talk about them when they leave.
Yeah.
So then we come back and we do another 10 to 15 minutes about what we just heard. And that's the whole thing. So to get the guests, I approach it like of having company over the house. So I called my friends and people that a lot of them come from referrals from other comics and other guests. Like I broke it up. Like I had a friend of mine, I spoke to Mark Norman, who was a great interview.
Oh, I love
and Joe
Mark.
List is a friend. So I'll hopefully I'll get Joe on. And then it just keeps going. You do a movie with someone. Now everyone's got a podcast. So, and I did a movie with Andrea Martin. So I called her up and it's a great way to reconnect with friends. Listen, I'm doing this. Can you have? She goes, of course. I actually picked her up at the doctor. She goes, I'm in LA. I need a ride home. I'll come home. And I said, I'll pick you up. She goes, yeah, I'll pick you up. So I picked her up. We went, we did it. Alicia Coppola, who plays my wife on Why Women Kill, we became friends. I go, do you want to do one? And she wrote a book about her dad. So she was on plugging her book. So just to have this thing and to see how this, to connect with old friends and see how it can help other people.
Yeah. And that's, I think a lot of people don't realize, like people just often want to tune in, whether you have a certain setup or a gimmick or a theme for your podcast. People honestly just want to tune in, I think, oftentimes to be like, I just want to hear people enjoy conversation with their friends, I think, oftentimes. So like, and if you're bringing on your friends and that's like, whatever you're talking about, they're like, it's nice to hear people that are getting along and having a good time.
I approach it of having company over the house. Who do you want to be? And it's great because I can reach out to people that I'm a fan of. Do you listen to The Dollop, the podcast? The Dollop? It's great. I want to talk to Dave and Gareth. I want to talk to those guys and I'll reach out to them. So it's, and a bunch of car people, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, Leno, I was working with Leno and I brought the mics with me. I go, Jay, you want to? Yeah, sure, set him up. That was great. I got to see Kevin again. I did like Mall Cop you mentioned. We did the movie together. I did Kevin Can Wait, King of Queens. It's another excuse to get together and bullshit, you know. So it was fun. Came over the house. Like Edie Falco, this episode, the kids are all grown up now. She's got her new show. They're getting bigger. I connected with Mike Burke, who's a stunt driver, who I went to stunt school at the end of Rescue Me before Top Gear. My wife was very nervous. Look, you're a little crazy. You need to have some training when you drive. So Danny Aiello's son, Danny Aiello III, was our stunt coordinator. And I said, listen, I got to learn how to drive at high speed. I can do a J-turn. I know enough. I know what every guy knows from beating on a rent-a-car. So, I met Mike Burke, and I was in New York before all this hit. And I said, you know, it'd be great. Can I interview you? And he tells stories about the show Blind Spot. He did a gag called The Cannon. You push a button. It's basically you slide the car, you push a button, and it's a bomb. And just flips you over. And he was telling that story.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, it was. I probably would have never spoken to him again if I didn't have this podcast. So I'm getting so much enjoyment out of it. So thank you for letting me share it with the audience. So you guys check it out.
Yeah, no, this is great, man. I think everyone's enjoying this. This is speaking of like people you've had on. In terms of comedy, you mentioned Mark Normand and people like that. Are there any people that would you consider your comedy heroes, or people that you really just love? Who are your favorite day, like modern day?
Oh yeah, I opened for Carlin. I opened for George Carlin.
Oh, awesome.
So I got to, I'll tell you that story. It was a comedy magic club here, and I had the weekend. And what happened was my manager calls me up, said, Mike, who runs the place, said, he's got a bump. He's got to move your weekend. But he said, you can open if you want. Right away, the ego kicks in. Open? Open? What sword swallower is bumping me? I don't open for anybody. Who's bumping me? George Carlin. Does he need a ride?
Yeah.
Can I pick him up? So I do the show, and you can't, Shane, you can't talk to him before. It's green room is his, so it's all there. So the Comedy Magic Club's like a little theater. So I finish my set. The MC goes back out. I walk off. I see these two little eyes and this silver beard. And his hand comes out, and he goes, you're funny. I went, and you're Carlin. And I shook his hand, and he quoted 3 or 4 jokes of mine, and we're just talking. And I was just, you know, thank you, thank you, thank you. And all of a sudden, we hear the audience start clapping. He goes, is that for me? I go, they don't want to see me again, George. You better get out there. So I got to meet him. I got to meet Richard Pryor.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. And guys working today, Norman makes me laugh. David Tell is still one of the guys. I started at the Comedy Cellar. So I'm going down to work on stuff. And you get Attell, Jeff Ross, Colin Quinn. Mm-hmm. These are hitters. Chris Rock comes in. Seinfeld bumped me 3 times. Remember the movie Comedian? So he's shooting Comedian in New York. He bumped me twice at the Cellar, once at Gotham. And, you know, Jerry came up at the end. He goes, Adam, I'm sorry. I'm like, Jerry, this movie better be funny because right now it's just fucking annoying.
Yeah. That's awesome. That was the one with Orny Adams, right? Was that Comedian?
Yeah, Orny was in it.
Yeah, good old Orny.
Yes, did someone just answer an Opie and Anthony question? Yeah, I grew up with me and Anthony Cumia were friends, and I met Greg Opie when he was on BAB years ago. So yeah, we've been friends for years. He had a bunch of cars. He had a Shelby, and I think he still got the Jaguar now.
Dang, those Shelbys are sick.
I did. Okay, so I do the Barrett Jackson auto auctions. Mm-hmm. So I do the commentary for them. So there's 4 a year. There's Arizona, there's West Palm Beach, there's Mohegan Sun Casino, and there's Vegas. So I got a place here in California where I am now. And they said, okay, we'll fly in for the gig. I said, or you could get me something fun to drive. And I do a lot of work with Shelby, and the museum is in Vegas. I highly recommend if you're a car guy, go check out the Shelby Museum. So they gave me a new GT350.
Oh, wow.
And I drove it to, he gave it to me for a week so I could drive in, do the gig, and drive back. And I just had a Shelby GT350 driving through the desert, making believe I was Jim Morrison.
That's amazing.
Great. Yeah.
That's so cool. That's awesome. What's the car you currently drive now? Like, what do you?
Right now, I have an 08 E350. I got a Mercedes, not the AMG. I just got a regular E-Class. I have a 1990 LS400. It's the first year that Lexus came out with the LS400.
Those are crazy.
Doesn't even have a nameplate on it because they didn't know what they were going to call it yet. Yeah. I merged the whole thing out. I took the amber lights out. I put Euro lights in it. I gave it a chin. I dropped it. I gave it black wheels. And I drive around like the Yakuza.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw a video about the LS400 when they first came out. That thing was insane. All the features it
Yeah.
had on it. It had like
Yeah.
radar. Doesn't it have like radar on it when it first came out?
No, but what it does have, 1990 technology, the key, there's a little outline in the key itself, and that actually opens up. That's the alarm. So there's no fob. It's in the key.
Oh, weird.
You lose the key, it's $153.
Ah, well,
but that's the key. But yeah, so it drinks like a Kennedy though, because it's just a big. So, and I had my other fun car. I just sold it. Was I had a 1970 Deuce and a Quarter.
Oh, cool.
Big old Buick Electra 225.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing was great. It was 18 feet 5 inches. I have 3 garages at my house. It didn't fit in any of them.
Yeah, it's a literal boat. That's huge.
Yeah. And it was, and I dropped the suspension. I painted it black cherry metallic. I smoked the windows out. I split the exhaust, and I drive around Santa Monica, and I played Parliament Funkadelic, and I would scare white people.
And when you say I did that, you're paying someone, right? Because you say you don't have the car gene, or you actually?
No. I one of the producers from Top Gear.
He's
my
doing
friend David. I said I bought the car from Top Gear. It was
cool.
the piano car from one of the episodes we did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, what we did is we had to find the longest car we could, and you had to illustrate how long your car was. So what I've been doing, I said, well, the radio's broken. I put a baby grand piano on the roof, and I put a seat on the trunk, and I had a piano player sit up there playing the piano while I drove around.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Would you say that's your favorite car you've ever had, or is that up there?
Oh yeah, that was my favorite fun car. That was all mine.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So
it's no i3.
No, well, it's luckily thanks to exotic car depreciation, they're pretty cheap right now. So I suggest anyone should pick them up. It's great. So you've been a comic for a long time. We've all been watching you for a long time. Do you have any favorite rituals when you're on the road?
I try not to eat carbs.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about the road. Here's what I used to do when I didn't have any money, and I was, especially Florida, this was real easy to do. You sign up for time. You get dressed up as best you can, and I always had a jacket with me because I was working, but I didn't have any money. So I'd be on the road. So I would get dressed up, and I would find in the paper, they used to have timeshares. They want to sell you timeshares. And they gave you a free lunch, but you had to listen to all the bullshit. You had to listen to all the bullshit. They had to show you a little thing, and they show you around these timeshares, and you would sign up. So I'd do it. Just to get the free lunch.
That's a pretty good deal.
It wasn't a ritual as much as it was a necessity.
Yeah, that's fun.
And you learn stuff on the road. Not really rituals, but you would learn stuff like before. Now you don't have to do it. But before, when you were on the road, I would call up as my own assistant. I would call up the front desk and go, "Hi, this is Adam Ferrara's assistant. I don't know if you know this, and not a lot of people do. I'm trusting your privacy here. He has medication that he needs to keep cold. So if you could please have a refrigerator up in his room." Great, because they not all had refrigerators, and if they did, they would charge you. So because of the medication,
that's pretty good.
I always thank the people, and they would give, and I always give whoever was behind the desk, I would give them tickets to the show. I said, I can't thank you enough for helping me out. Here, let me get you tickets to the show. What night would you like to come? Oh my God, really? Could I have 4? Of course you can. And then they don't charge you because they feel guilty.
Yeah, that's a pretty good gig. I'm going to start doing that. I don't ever go anywhere, but I might as well start calling ahead. Mm-hmm. Then I'll start going places. That's pretty good. That's good. All right, we got another listener question from Brian P. Smith. He asks, out of all the projects you've done in your career, what was the project that brought you the most personal satisfaction when you finished it? And do you still feel that way about it today?
Great question. Right now, the podcast is bringing me a lot of satisfaction because it's new and I'm seeing it grow and I'm shaping it and I'm doing it with my wife and my friends and it's all mine. There's been moments, I don't want to parse the question or dilute it. So I would say there's been moments in all projects that I was very grateful for. One was there was a monologue scene in that Dennis and Peter Tolan wrote for the Needles character that I played. I think it was on an episode called 7, because I think it was 7 dead babies from a fire. And at the end of it, the guys come back and there's a monologue and someone has to do that monologue. So Dennis gave it to my character and it was heavy drama shit, So, and I did it and I was, I'm an insecure comic and insecure actor, so you go home, once you're in that space, when you're open in that space, you're still twitchy. you're not sure if you did good. You're not sure if you embarrassed yourself. You're unsettled in your being after you do something like that. And Dennis left a message on my voicemail, just an encouraging message, basically saying, you did a great job. I knew you could do it. Just really and getting that validation from not only my pal and another comic. And he even said, you're a comic and people don't think we connect. Well, you fucking should. I mean, he just said something great. And I remember coming down the stairs and my wife saw my face in my apartment. She goes, oh, who said something nice to you? Because I can't let it in.
Yeah.
So that was a moment. There's a couple of moments on Nurse Jackie and scenes where I went really deep to service the character, that those moments we had. And Top Gear too. I jumped a caddy on one of our first episodes and I landed it on all four wheels and I walked away and went, this is very satisfying.
Yeah. That's awesome. So your wife, obviously she does a podcast with you, but does she travel with you when you were doing stand up? And
she used to quite a bit. When we first got together, she would go on the road with me. And that's when you realize, when you're sharing a hotel room together, that's when you realize you really should go down and use the bathroom in the lobby.
Yeah.
But she would go with me, and she's very funny, and she makes everything better. She shapes it. She has to deal with me, which, I'm a mess. So she's got to, she actually helps me with everything. Everything's better because of her. So it's a mom and pop business, and I'd be lost without.
That's awesome. How long have you been married?
I'll say 12, 13 years. I think the over-under is 12.
Good, yeah. And do you find that it's easy?
What is? Being married to me? I doubt it.
Well, not you, but being married to her, maybe. Or being married in general.
Oh, I'm batting over my head. You're gonna Google my wife after this. You're gonna look at it and you go, holy shit. And I know she loves me. You know how I know? There's no money.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You'd think with all this TV bullshit there'd be a lot more money. There's no money.
There's no money anymore.
She could have cashed in bigger than me.
Well, that's good. It's always good to have a good partner that helps you out with stuff.
She's the best part of my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good. All right, let's see. What else we got here for some audience questions here? Here we go. Sandra Parks, I think this, or maybe this is James Saladin. I can't tell how these are broken out. Adam, you're looking good. What's your secret?
This is all a hologram. There's no secret. I'm crumbling inside. This is it. This is the oldest I've ever been.
Well, you look great. I don't know if it's Zoom, but you're doing a good job.
It's the filter.
Yeah. Going back to your wife real quick, Sandra Parks wants to know, how did you meet your wife?
Oh, I met my wife. There was a movie project we did, and we didn't have any scenes together. And I met her, and then I came out here to L.A. Pilot season is like January, February, and you stay out here and you go and you audition. You hope you get a job. So if you got no money, like I did, you would couch surf and do what you had to do. So my friend Jack has a mansion up in the hills by the Greek Theater. And him and his husband, Michael, lived there. And Michael was in New York, and Jack missed him, and I knew him. And he's like, do you want to house sit for me? I miss Michael. I want to, yeah. So I got this giant mansion up by the observatory here. He said, use the cars, feed the dogs. You're responsible. The dog likes you. Great. So my wife was producing another movie at the time, and the director wanted to meet me. So we set up a meeting, and I didn't, I just knew her from this other project. So we set up the meeting. And I met the guy, and the guy, she wanted to drop off another script to my house because it was going well. The process of maybe getting this job was going well. So I called my friend Jack, and I said, Jack, what's your rules? Can I have a girl over the house? And he went, honey, tell her it's your house. And I'm like, and how am I going to explain all the pictures of the gay men in the theater memorabilia? How's that going to work in my favor? I'm on the other team. So she came over the house, and she saw the house and everything. And she gave, I said, I'm house sitting. She gave me the script. And this is what we're sitting in the back. And Shane, it's gorgeous. There's a pool. There's the lion spitting into the pool. There's an outdoor fireplace. I mean, just stunning. I got a cup of coffee. She's telling me about this movie project. And all of a sudden she goes, oh, I have to leave. And I'm like, why? She goes, I forgot. I have an online poetry class. And I was thinking to myself, this woman fucking hates me. Look, I got to wash my hair, something, my dog died, an online poet. I went, wow, she really wants to get out of here. So she left. that night. Okay, swing and a miss, right? I get a call the next day. She wanted to come back because there was the director had more sides. He wanted, whatever it was. I said, oh, you want to come over to the house? Yeah. So she came over to the house, and just to give myself an out, I hid one of her shoes.
Oh, yeah.
She took her shoes off, so I took one shoe. So the meeting was over. She had to leave, and it went a lot better. I felt like there was some kind of connection there. So she's looking. She goes, I can't find my shoe, and it was right in front of me. I went, it's right over here. Come and get it. She came over it, and I kissed it, and it was fucking great. One of the best kisses I've ever delivered in my life.
Nice.
And she told me, she goes, I had to get out. She goes, I made up that excuse because I was really liking you, and I really got scared and I had to get out of here.
Oh,
I said, I don't know if that's true or not, but I'll take it.
That's good. Oh, yeah. She sounds sweet.
Oh, yeah. She's great.
That's awesome. So pool in the back at this mansion. Do you have a pool at your house now?
I do. I don't have a pool. I have a wet hole I throw money into. That's what a fucking pool is.
Yeah. So no quarantining out in your pool currently.
No, we got a nice little setup here. So we're quarantined, but I got some woods. I don't wood, but I got high hedges and I got the pool in the back.
Yeah. What have you been doing to keep yourself busy in these
I got
times?
the studio set up. I've been pumping out podcast shows, and because everyone's home and I have the Zoom up, I can actually do the interview part of the show from here. And then I could bring the other guys in and we could do it from here. So I'm so fortunate I got this set up just in time to keep myself busy because I'd go crazy.
Yeah, it's something. You got to find something to do.
I know you got to keep producing and connecting. It's like, thank you guys so much for being here. And again, you're here to help everyone at Helium whose jobs are taken away. But thank you guys for giving us the connection. Comics, I mean, if we don't connect, we don't. For whatever we lack in our lives or for whatever reason, and I don't mean we, the universal we, just for me, whatever it is, this connection part of it is like plugging in. I can be, and I was talking to Mark Norman about this on the podcast. He didn't really connect with the folks, but he connects to an audience. And I know that feeling. I don't know what different circumstances brought us to that awareness of that audience, but I'm just grateful I can do it. That's the only time in my life when things come through me to touch other people. And Helium is one of the great clubs. I look forward to going to Philly because the audience that keeps coming back to see me, I'm so grateful for. And I got to keep changing it and open up deeper and deeper and deeper to bring these people back in, to give them a nice experience so they'll come back again. So I'm just grateful that the club exists there. So I thank you guys all for being here to help the people that work there.
Oh yeah. Philly fans are good fans.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You kidding? Philly's like and MMR and John DeBella and all the radio guys. I was on with them. I look forward to coming. It's like a second kind of. You guys have Wawas that you're very proud of. I don't get that, but other than that, it's just like being home. East Coast is different, and it's the sensibilities too. Like here on the West Coast, people like you people on the East Coast, you rude. We're not rude. We have no time for you with your bullshit. It's not that we're rude. We're in a hurry. Okay, there's a certain amount of urgency on the East Coast. I mean, it's the environment. Look, you ever see the waves, the Atlantic Ocean? You see the waves, the Pacific Ocean? Like, dude, Jesus, the Pacific Ocean is surfs up. The Atlantic Ocean is man down.
That's awesome. Yeah,
there were no coral reefs in the beach where I grew up.
No.
You know what was in the water in Long Island where I grew up? Shopping carts and dead witnesses. That's what was in the water.
Yeah. Well, mob snitches. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, that's good.
We need another poll. Right, what was in the water when you grew up?
Yeah. Ooh, let's do a poll. Yeah, here we go. We need to come up with things for it. We can't. Okay. We need to have.
We have to come up with something for a poll.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? My ADD is raging tonight.
Oh, I think, we're all over the place. I think it's fine. I'm asking questions here. I'm asking questions there. I think it's totally fine. I think all of us, in terms of the world, are probably very ADD right now. And, that's on my podcast. It's called the ADD interview. It's not that you're not interesting. It's just that I can't focus. Well, I think that's good. We got another question from another attendee that's paying attention. Here we go.
Attendee sounds like we're at a mental facility.
I know. Isn't that good? That's what it was written here. Anonymous attendee. That's how it came through. I was like, well, that sounds. Well, we'll see who it is. If you had to be quarantined in one of the cars you own or that you have previously owned, what would it be?
Ooh, that's good. Can I have a Winnebago? I need the space.
Ooh.
I never owned a Winnebago. I made one on Top Gear out of a 72 or 73 Buick Centurion convertible. And I put it's the RV episode. In fact, that's on Speedy, Beardy, and the Mole. That's the first episode we did. We did a watch along on it. That's why it's fresh in my mind. And my theory about the RV was I wanted to bring a little piece of home with me. So I put the Flatiron Building from New York City on the roof of this thing.
Oh, nice.
I put the top down, and I could drive, and I could climb up into my house. So yeah, if you watch that on YouTube, you'll see it. And I think Max Pappas was chasing me in another RV and pit maneuvered me, and it went over.
Oh,
but I would sleep in something long. So I maybe an SUV. Out of the cars I've owned or on Top Gear, Ken Linkenfelter, who's a tuner, gave me an Escalade, I think it's a 19-footer long wheelbase Escalade with a supercharger on it. I high-centered it on a beach, so I didn't. But that's long enough where you can lay down and have a DVD player. I think that's what you got to look for. If I had a quarantine in that car.
Yeah, that's
actually
good.
The '76 Coupe de Ville that I jumped on Top Gear. I slept in that because I was part of the gag, so I slept in that, and it was long enough. The back seat's long enough where I could lay down.
God, I
slept
miss those
in the back
cars.
of trucks. We went across Iceland. I was in an old Chevy pickup, an old Chevy non-turbo diesel pickup, which meant I wasn't going anywhere in a hurry.
Yeah.
So we slept in the back of those in Iceland. They gave us heaters. We slept in fishing sheds, fishing things in Iceland, and there's no place to eat. So we traveled with a chef and a cook, and he fed us curry at lunch. That's what you want in a closed environment. Curry.
Yeah. When you think of Iceland, definitely curry is the top of the list.
That's the food.
What's
your favorite?
The
worst food to eat when you're quarantined? That's a poll.
Yeah, curry. Yeah.
I'm saying beans.
Let's see, beans, curry. We can get a couple of things on this poll. Beans, curry. What else is a bad one?
What's got heavy garlic in it? Like vampire killing garlic.
Yeah, like a heavy spaghetti.
Linguine and clam sauce.
Yeah, and maybe just hot milk. Put hot milk on that list.
Hot milk?
Yeah, is that
a euphemism?
No, I don't think so, but I bet it's...
What do you do when I'm not
Well,
here,
Shane? You don't want to know. There's things I do.
Broccoli. Somebody said broccoli.
Oh, that makes sense. Broccoli. Yeah, broccoli's a good one.
That's what I was going for the beans. Well, the broccoli, at least you're getting some kind of nutritional value. The beans, you get a little bit, but you get fat because it's carbs, and you fart like a circus elephant.
Yeah.
I'll take the beans if I could have a lighter.
Oh, yeah. Because you can light
curse the darkness.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's amazing. What is your... Oh, here we go. We got a poll now. What is the worst thing to eat?
Garlic, hot milk, broccoli. Okay. Those are from the Helium helpers.
Yeah, that's great.
Don't eat that either. Helium helper? Don't eat that.
Oh, God.
It's got low preservatives, and it makes your voice really high.
Yeah, hot milk.
I'm going with the beans.
Yeah, beans.
I'll go with beans because I said it, but
I think broccoli's got to be a close second.
Yeah. All right.
What is your favorite food on the road besides not carbs? Oh,
Here's
curry.
Curry's bad. All right, curry's bad.
All right.
Apparently there's a couple of hot milk drinkers.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. Here's the thing about the pizza was always a staple on the road because they would bring it to you. You could just make a call and they'll bring it to you. This was before Uber Eats. By the way, Uber Eats, I'm never doing that.
No.
I can't not eat my own food from the drive-through. This guy's going to be thumbing my potatoes.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, I don't try. Some Uber dude, I got your food. There's a bite out of the sandwich. It's the way it came, man. Sorry.
And people throw up in those cars.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I had one Uber guy show up. I was like, it was all, one guy was stoned out of his head. I was like, yeah, I wrote a bit about it. He was as high as a Georgia pine.
It's a good place to be. Not when you're driving.
Asparagus, too. Someone just said asparagus.
Yeah. But that's peeing. You can usually not pee around someone else.
Yeah, asparagus doesn't really smell unless you pee, though, right? Yeah, someone just had that same question. Here's the other thing you don't want to eat, and I'll tell you this, but it's only because beets. Only because you're going to forget you ate them the night before, and you're going to scream in the bathroom in the morning and wake up a loved one.
Yeah, I've had that happen multiple times. I'm a big beet lover.
A Georgia pine is a tree. They grow really tall.
That's awesome. All right, so we got about 5 minutes left in this thing, Adam.
Right,
is there anything? I'm just going to open it to you. Is there anything you want to talk about specifically? Anything you want to talk about cars, like UK version of Top Gear? Is there anything you want to talk about?
Those guys were really kind to us. I actually we did a press event with Richard Hammond, and he was really cool. He owns two of my favorite cars. He's got a 61 E-Type Jag, and he's got a 68 390 Fastback. He's got the Bullet car, but it's blue with white stripes. The original car was Highland green. But yes, I am in touch with Dennis. We traded emails the other day. So yeah, but I mean, as far if I could just say anything, I'm noticing people are staying apart, but they're being a lot more politer, which I'm very happy to see. I don't know how long this thing's going to go on, but right now I'm noticing the patience. I'm also noticing I'm getting more appreciation for what I got and the help I get from my. I think when we stay still a little bit long, we go, oh, shit.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing. At least I'm noticing that. And I'm just trying to do what I can do in this space, like stuff like this to help the guys that work at Helium, the guys and girls that work at Helium, to keep producing content. So all this stuff is free. So if you got nothing to do, check out my podcast. If you're a Top Gear fan, you want to see us three idiots, look at us. We look like the Pep Boys. If you want to see us, you can go to Speedy Beardy and the Mole. I just want to thank you for doing this. Saw you at Levity Live in Nyack. Oh, great. I was supposed to be in Nyack next week, but apparently something happened. Yeah. But yeah, and clubs like this are great. So I'm glad I could help out, you know?
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I think everyone's really enjoyed listening to you talk about this stuff. Just listen to, I think this format just allows people to really understand and kind of get to know people a little bit better than just watching you on a TV show. And I think that podcasts are also very helpful for that too, but I think it's always good to see your face and ask some questions. So I think this has been super awesome. I really appreciate it, Adam. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, Helium's one of my favorite clubs, and I'm so happy I could be here. And I want to thank the Helium helpers. I'm not going to use their names because they need to be anonymous.
That's right. The anonymous attendees.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But I will. One of them can do better than a drummer. It's an inside joke. Any girl that stayed at a drummer, they know. Awesome. When the match is over, you come back to Bananas in New Jersey. Emily, yes, I will. I was there in November, but I will be back. Hopefully we'll all be back and doing this. Hey, that's my friend Brian from the Radio Freaks. How are you, baby? Good to see you. Thank you. And I'm glad you guys were here. And I want to thank Helium for just trying to help people. And thank you guys for all your help, too.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for tuning in and giving us your questions. Sorry we didn't get to a few of them, but hey, we'll be doing this again. We'll be doing this type of thing. Check out heliumcomedy.com, goodnightscomedy.com. We have this type of panel. We have different types of comedy shows. There's a show called Roulette where we have a bunch of comics just riffing. Just pulling riffs or just premises out of a hat and kind of riffing on those for minutes.
Yeah, it's like the set list. That's fun to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And we did that a couple days ago, and everyone had a great time. So please continue to tune in, support live comedy, support businesses like Helium and Goodnights that clearly have their doors open and want to be able to pay their people. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Adam.
Cool.
Again,
you got it, my friend. And also
fun.
Any Top Gear fans that want to see an episode for us to do on Speedy Beardy and the Mole, you can hit me, Tanner, or Rudd up on social media, and we'll see if we can get to it. Stay strong, and may God bless us all.
Thank you, Adam. Good night, everybody.